The American dream has long been associated with homeownership, a symbol of success and stability. However, in recent years, this dream has become increasingly unattainable for many Americans. Firstly, thank you for watching, and don't forget to smash that like, subscribe, and notification bell for more global finance uncovered, as we continue to work hard and around the clock to always deliver and improve on our content for you. We would greatly appreciate your additional support by you clicking the like button, notification bell, and subscribe button and joining our channel's growth. The rising cost of homes, stagnant wages, and economic uncertainties have created a perfect storm, making it difficult for a significant portion of the population to afford a home. The U.S. housing market has seen unprecedented growth in prices over the past decade. In many parts of the country, home prices have soared beyond the reach of average families. This trend has been driven by a combination of factors, including low interest rates, a limited supply of homes, and increased demand from both domestic buyers and international investors. While home prices have skyrocketed, wages have not kept pace. Over the past few decades, wage growth has been sluggish, failing to keep up with the rising cost of living. As a result, many Americans are finding it increasingly difficult to save for a down payment or qualify for a mortgage. Student loan debt is another significant barrier to home ownership, with the average student graduating with tens of thousands of dollars in debt. Many young adults are delaying or foregoing buying a home altogether. The burden of monthly loan payments reduces the amount of income available for savings and mortgage payments. Renting, which is often seen as an alternative to home ownership, has also become increasingly expensive. In many cities, rent prices have risen sharply, making it difficult for renters to save money for a down payment on a home. The high cost of rent also puts pressure on household budgets, leaving little room for other financial goals. The supply of affordable housing has not kept up with demand. In many parts of the country, especially in urban areas, there is a significant shortage of affordable homes. This shortage has driven up prices, making it difficult for first-time homebuyers to enter the market. While low interest rates have made borrowing cheaper, they have also contributed to the rise in home prices. Low rates have increased demand for homes, as buyers can afford larger mortgages. However, this increased demand has not been met with a corresponding increase in supply, leading to higher prices. Real estate investors, including large corporations and foreign buyers, have played a role in driving up home prices. These investors often purchase homes as investments, driving up competition and prices in the process. This has made it more difficult for individual buyers, particularly first-time homebuyers, to compete in the market. The gap between those who can afford homes and those who cannot has widened, leading to increased housing inequality. This inequality is often along racial and socioeconomic lines, with minority and low-income households being disproportionately affected by the lack of affordable housing. Government policies have played a role in both exacerbating and attempting to address the housing affordability crisis. While some policies, such as tax incentives for home ownership, have benefited existing homeowners, they have done little to help those who are struggling to afford a home. Recent initiatives to increase affordable housing supply and provide financial assistance to first-time buyers are steps in the right direction, but much more is needed. Millennials, who are now in their prime home buying years, have been particularly affected by the housing affordability crisis. Many in this generation are burdened with student loan debt, stagnant wages, and high rent costs, making it difficult to save for a down payment or qualify for a mortgage. As a result, home ownership rates among millennials are lower than for previous generations. Urbanization has also contributed to the housing affordability crisis. As more people move to cities in search of job opportunities, the demand for housing in urban areas has increased significantly. However, the supply of housing in these areas has not kept pace, leading to skyrocketing prices and a lack of affordable options. The cost of building new homes has also increased, contributing to the affordability crisis. Rising labor and material costs, along with regulatory hurdles, have made it more expensive for developers to build new homes. These costs are often passed on to buyers, further driving up prices. The inability to afford a home has profound effects on families. Home ownership is often associated with stability, both financial and social. Without the ability to own a home, many families are forced to move frequently, disrupting children's education and social ties. The stress of unaffordable housing can also strain relationships and mental health. There are significant racial disparities in home ownership rates in the United States. Black and Hispanic families are less likely to own homes than their white counterparts, a gap that has persisted for decades. This disparity is driven by a range of factors, including discriminatory lending practices, lower incomes, and less generational wealth. The the inability to afford a home can also have long-term implications for retirement. Home ownership is a key way that many Americans build wealth over their lifetimes. Without the ability to build equity in a home, many are left with fewer assets and less financial security in retirement. Zoning laws and regulations can also impact housing affordability. In many areas, restrictive zoning laws limit the types of housing that can be built, reducing the supply of affordable homes. Efforts to reform these laws have faced significant opposition, but they are seen by many as a crucial step in addressing the affordability crisis.
While much of the focus on housing affordability is on urban areas, rural areas are also affected. In many rural communities, there is a lack of affordable housing options, and the economic challenges faced by these areas can make it difficult for residents to afford homes. This has led to a decline in home ownership rates in some rural areas. Technology has had both positive and negative effects on housing affordability. On one hand, online platforms have made it easier for buyers to search for homes and compare prices. On the other hand, the rise of short-term rental platforms has reduced the supply of long-term rental housing, driving up prices in some areas. Addressing the housing affordability crisis will require a multifaceted approach. Solutions include increasing the supply of affordable housing, providing financial assistance to first-time homebuyers, reforming zoning laws, and addressing income inequality. Each of these solutions will require collaboration between government, the private sector, and communities. Financial education can also play a role in addressing the housing affordability crisis. By providing potential buyers with the knowledge and tools they need to save for a down payment, improve their credit scores, and navigate the mortgage process, financial education can help more Americans achieve home ownership. The lack of affordable housing can have a negative impact on communities. It can lead to increased homelessness, strain public services, and reduce economic mobility. Communities with high rates of home ownership tend to have stronger social ties and greater economic stability, highlighting the importance of affordable housing for community well-being. Looking ahead, the future of housing affordability in America is uncertain. While some analysts predict that home prices may stabilize or even decline, others warn that the underlying issues driving the affordability crisis, such as income inequality and limited housing supply, are unlikely to be resolved in the near term. The Federal Reserve plays a crucial role in the housing market through its control of interest rates. By keeping interest rates low, the Fed has helped to make mortgages more affordable. However, if the Fed raises rates to combat inflation, it could make it even more difficult for Americans to afford homes, particularly those who are already struggling with high home prices. The affordability crisis in the American housing market is a complex issue with no easy solutions. It is the result of a confluence of economic, social, and policy factors that have made homeownership increasingly out of reach for many Americans. Addressing this crisis will require bold and innovative solutions, as well as a commitment from all levels of government and society to ensure that the American dream of homeownership remains within reach for future generations.
The housing affordability crisis is not uniform across the United States. While some regions, particularly in the Midwest and South, offer relatively more affordable housing options, coastal areas like California, New York, and Washington, D.C., are facing extreme affordability challenges. In these high-demand areas, even modest homes can be out of reach for middle-income earners. These regional disparities highlight the need for localized solutions that consider the unique economic and demographic factors of each area. Gentrification has become a significant factor in the housing affordability crisis, particularly in urban areas. As neighborhoods undergo revitalization, property values often rise, pushing out longtime residents who can no longer afford the higher rents and property taxes. While gentrification can bring economic growth and improved infrastructure to communities, it also exacerbates housing inequality by displacing lower-income residents and reducing the availability of affordable housing. The inability of many Americans to afford homes has broader implications for the U.S. economy. Home ownership has traditionally been a key driver of wealth accumulation and economic stability. As fewer people can afford to buy homes, the wealth gap may widen, and consumer spending often fueled by home equity could decrease. Additionally, the housing market slowdown can impact related industries, from construction to home furnishings, potentially leading to slower economic growth overall. Addressing housing affordability is not just a social issue, it is also critical for the long-term health of the national economy.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to smash that subscribe, like, and notification bell for more global finance uncovered.